But no, that's the one unfun thing about chess, which is why people try to subvert it with like bullet and stuff, faster formats. If you just really take your time, it feels like you can beat anybody at any time. Now there's a limit. I'm not going to say, oh, I could beat Magnus or something, but if you really sit there and think for like on and on, like that's why time is important. Because, oh, anybody could just sit there and go through every tree of moves. It becomes kind of, even if it's slow and exhausting and takes you forever. And that's what good players are even doing in classical kind of tournaments. That's what Fabiano showed against Magnus. Like, oh, Magnus might be the best player ever. But why is Fabiano, who's obviously a very impressive player too, but why is he able to draw him in every single game of a classical world championship against a prime peak Magnus? And he's only 6 rating points behind Fabiano, 28-44. That would prove to me that Magnus isn't the GOAT, because at his best, the GOAT should not be a mere 6 points above somebody else, whoever that might be. There's always going to be great players, but there should be like a great divide. Like Paul Morphy was way better than everybody. It wasn't 6 points close. It wasn't, oh, I'm going to draw you in every single game of a classical world championship and then beat you in the tie breaks. It would be definitive. It would be like, okay, I'm just way better and there's nothing you can do. You can't even explain what I'm doing. Like Bobby Fischer to some extent was like that too. So Magnus was too close, right? If Fabiano is 28-44 and Magnus is 28-50, obviously Magnus was higher at other points, like 28-80, but it shouldn't be that close, right? It should never be that close when you're in your prime, in a world championship, in a, you know, against a contemporary opponent. It should never be like, oh, so basically Fabiano was almost as good as Magnus in that moment. He was his equal, right? And it comes down to a very tight, very... I don't know, very close. It's almost like Fabiano got burnt out after that and kind of almost gave up a little bit. Not that he's not still trying, but it is weird because should he not have been easily the world champion since Magnus left chess? But he hasn't been at all, so... Right, 28-44, third highest rated chess player of all time, and yet... Ding won a world championship, Gukesh won a world championship. Like, it is kind of sad in a way that, like, whatever he was doing, I can just psychologically analyze it. What he did in that moment, maybe that wasn't the world championship though. When was that actually? When he was 28-44, but like he was almost trolling and trying to prove a point. Like, okay, I know Magnus is the best chess player ever, whatever, but I'm going to prove that, oh, in a classical setting, I can draw him in every single game. I drew the best chess player ever in every single game. He couldn't beat me a single one. And then it took till the tie breaks. It took till time control for him to finally beat me. And it maybe could have gone either way. Who knows? So what happens is... it really proves something, right? Like, I would hang my hat on that. Like, I'm the third highest rated chess player in history. I drew Magnus in every game of a world championship. He couldn't beat me at his best, right? And like, what more do you want? Because it's like one of those underdog things, right? Like, speaking of the Indiana Pacers or something like that, you overachieve. What is he supposed to do? Is he supposed to beat Magnus? He's not supposed to, because he's not better than him. He's not... You know, he's not the one who's the best player ever, right? It would be an upset. It would be a big deal, right, if he had won that. So you're not supposed to win. So what more do you want, right? Like, so the best you can do is put up a good performance to show, like, wow, I overachieved. I did the best that I could against somebody who is accepted as better than me. So, you know, like, what more do you want from the guy? It's close because the computer created both sides. Magnus and Fabi chess 960. Fabi doesn't get all draw. Well, 960 in general is probably like that. I mean, there was that world championship. When did he actually do that? 2016 candidates finished second. Wait, oh no, it was all the way in 2018. So I guess it wasn't when he was 28-44 at all, unless he went back to 28-44. Wait. Lost in the rapid tiebreaks after drawing all 12 classical games. Like, it is the ultimate, like, he's not a very emotional or expressive person, but I can just imagine in his head, like, this is what I spent my whole life to do. right? And I'm kind of trolling you and showing you like, wow, Magnus is the GOAT, but I can draw him in every game. He can't beat me. Like, it's so stupid. It shouldn't be like that. You know what I mean? Like, if you're better than somebody, if you're the best player ever, it shouldn't be that you're getting a draw every time. You shouldn't be able to do that. Just because Fabi can memorize. But see, I love that statement. Like, you don't think every other chess player on the planet, especially grandmasters, especially title players, especially people over 2,000, everybody tries to memorize the computer. Everybody's studying all day, every day, all the time. If you're a grandmaster, like, it's not that simple. There's a reason why. Oh, all you have to do is just memorize the computer. Okay, I'll do it then. Or like, obviously it takes immense, insane effort and memory and studying and like practice and genius. And just memorize the computer. So then why doesn't anybody else do it to the same extent? It's like something that I guess I can show a clip, right? It won't be like copyright. This one kind of triggered me, that, and my friend commented on it, like, Gary Kasparov explains why he lost to who's it, Kramnik, right? And it's like, oh, it's because he had the style of play that really countered my moves, and like, you know, oh, as if everybody doesn't study Kasparov's moves and try to counter them, and like the ability to actually execute that and be able to win against him, you know what I mean? Like, it's stupid. Everyone has access to the engine, so okay, just memorize its moves. Where is that clip? It was like, why? On it, probably Kramnik would be the better thing. So I love those matter-of-fact explanations. Oh yeah, the reason why he won was because he played this way, and Kasparov normally plays this way. Like, yeah, no shit. You don't think everybody's memorizing the computer, or in this case, you don't think... Look at the way he says it.
And it was a great year for me. From 99.
Wait, Romanian? Why? What do you think? I'm the Bozat sisters? Who I don't know if they even really speak Romanian regular. Why do you have to translate, dude? He's speaking English. I guess give me English subtitles. Fuck. He's not speaking Romanian. Bobby spent years and years just to lose a championship, so he didn't prove anything. Well, I disagree with that then, though, because by that logic, then every player besides Magnus, and obviously until Magnus quit playing, so they've wasted their time too. Nepo wasted his time because he lost, or, you know, every other player besides Magnus or Gary Kasparov or somebody like that is just wasting their time. Like, isn't there a certain level of achievement? He's the third highest rated player ever. That's impressive. He drew every game and then lost in the tiebreaks. That's impressive. Like, there's got to be a secondary standard. Unless you're the best, you're just wasting your time, I guess. Every other grandmaster is just wasting his time because they can't get to the world championship. And even if they do, they're going to lose. Like Sergei Karjakin wasted his time. But yeah, look at this stupid one. Italian Mafia.
For another challenge, for the World Championship match in London. And it was a great year for me. From 99 to the first half of 2000, I had probably the best winning streak in my career, maybe the best in the history of chess. I had the highest rating ever. I won a number of tournaments, eventually all tournaments I played.
Basically, he's saying he was still in his prime, absolutely.
Great ideas, you know, splash here and there, in the openings, in the middle game, in the end game. And so I believed, as everybody said, I was unbeatable. It doesn't mean that I stopped working. I worked really hard. I came back with new ideas. I wanted to surprise Kramnik, and I believed I had enough strength to win. But he was a good pupil of Botvinnik, and he was a good pupil of Garry Kasparov. He looked at all the games, and he found that even, you know, on this burning sun, there were some spots. So there were certain positions where I didn't feel very comfortable. Certain moments where I slipped, where I was hesitant, where, you know, you could actually find out that Kasparov game was not very consistent. So he designed a strategy, a great strategy, to drag me from the territories where I felt most comfortable into the territories where I felt shaky.
Like, think about that. So he took the positions. He analyzed Kasparov's games because nobody was doing that. No other good or great chess player would ever look at Kasparov's games. They just keep their head in the sand, like, oh, we're not going to touch that. They don't analyze his games and look at, oh, maybe he's less comfortable here, and they don't study that and try to exploit that and use that when they're playing him. Oh no, that's all it takes. Oh no, it's just the reason why Kramnik beat me, you see, is because he analyzed my games and looked at where I was uncomfortable and used that against me. Like, every other chess player wouldn't try to do that, but they just wouldn't be good enough to still win or actually execute or actually use that to win. Like, and he was good enough to do that. So like, you're trying to shortchange credit to the player and say, oh no, it's just because he did this thing that nobody else could ever do. Like, you have to be good enough to execute it.
So it's like, two different, types of game. Like in tennis, somebody has a huge serve and then rushes to the net, and someone is playing from the back line, just waiting for mistakes and then hitting hard. Kramnik played from the back line, but he also was very smart to know exactly where I could make mistake and on what turf he could prove that Kasparov was not unbeatable. The match was a disaster for me. In 15 games, I couldn't win a single one and lost 2. And I lost the match to Kramnik. I was out prepared.
It's like, yeah, so you're trying to tell me that a chess player prepared for a world championship match by studying their opponent and analyzing their games and trying to figure out their weaknesses and what they're comfortable and uncomfortable with, and knowing that. Like, doesn't that happen in every single world chess championship ever? And that's the whole point of what players are studying and preparing? Like, I just don't get what that means. To me, that's like a meaningless statement. So, oh, he figured out my weaknesses and used them against me and did exactly what you're supposed to do. And yeah, I like even that statement. Like, it proves Fabi can memorize a computer, but like, yes, that's part of it, no doubt. Like, these engine line type players, but it's not, it just makes it sound too simple, right? There's a certain credit that you're the third highest rated player ever. Like, it's more to it than just that, or you're doing it better than everybody else. There's something about it that you're doing that other people can't do. I mean, I could look at the engine for years. I don't think I would memorize it to that extent to be able to play at that level.